Hello to everybody. My name is Vladimir, Bulgarian Cowboy Vlad, and now I will talk about 100% breakdown of this lovely event and UFC Fight Night 166. It will finally take place in one of the best cities in the world. It's definitely Raleigh, California, and to break down the whole event, I'll need a way to analyze a lot of fighters. I'm pretty much thrilled, as I have previously said, every UFC event is a wonderful event. There is no weak, there is no strong event, because every single event deserves an attention. Now let's roll. We said where it takes place, looking back at MMA Mania fight card. I'm kind of unsure whether something might change at the moment, but if it does, feel free to tell me that this was the wrong prediction or whenever. I'm always open. The first fight is between Herbert the Blaze Burns and his opponent is Nate Landwehr, known as the Train. Looking back at Nate Landwehr, the guy is a serious dude, ladies and gentlemen. He's a serious dude. 13-2 score from Clarksville, Tennessee. Well, he's a tough dude, man. Looking back at his previous records, the guy lost last time to Mark Jericho back at 2015. Since then, he was annihilating everybody in his way via TKO or KO. Diego Saraiva, Mikhail Korobkov, Kamza Dalgiev, and Andrei Lezhnev, they were all stopped via TKO. The guy comes from M1 background, so M1 is a very powerful promotion. And I respect M1 fighters more than anything in the world because any Russian promotion is super strong. Looking back at this, and he is squaring off against Gilbert Burns' brother, known as Herbert Burns the Blaze, from Niterói, Rio de Janeiro. Listen, Gilbert Burns gave me an interview. I've got nothing but respect for this guy. But now looking back at the guy who meets Nate Landwehr at his UFC debut, I've got to say that this guy has a strong background. He competed at ONE FC, where he had a very good score and defeated some strong names like Honorio Banario and Timofey Nastyukin via rear naked choke. And he is a BJJ expert just like his brother, but he lost via unanimous decision to Magomed Idrisov and Mawlid Kaibulaev, so nobody has ever finished him. This is a good thing to see. He defeated Aybek Nursaid and Luis Gomez. He defeated both of them via rear naked choke and triangle armbar. And then a White's Contender Series, he defeated Derek Miner via also triangle armbar. So this is tough to predict. And you know what I want to say? If this fight goes to the stand-up, I don't know how Gilbert's brother, I've never seen him in the stand-up. I've always seen him finishing guys at the bottom. So if Nate Landwehr decides to shoot in, this will be probably the end of the road for him because he is facing a very tough dude when it comes to strong strikes, when it comes to devastating, powerful, very powerful submissions. And this is something I really and honestly like about this guy. I hope Herbert Blaze is going to bounce back here with a win. Now the next fight, we got Stoney Gravely from Radford, Virginia. One strong dude with a score of 19-5. And the guy who pretty much changed many promotions before arriving into the UFC. A very strong guy. I honestly remember his brutal slam against Cody Nordby. And when Kevin McDonald was the referee at CES, I believe it was MMA 53, correct me if I'm wrong. So this is a very powerful dude, a very powerful name. Now he's squaring off against Brad Jones, black belt in judo, black belt in BJJ, brown belt in Muay Thai, one pretty much solid all-rounder, the pikey from Swansea Wells, the guy who with pretty much strong reputation. I mean, he won the vacant CF Cage Warriors FC Bantamweight Championship, defeating Jordan Desborough via split decision. He won Titan FC Bantamweight Championship after a win over Val Watson. Well, he had ups and downs, 3-2 in UFC, Kwan Ho Kwak, Albert Morales, and Joe Soto, great victories against Joe Soto, even Calf Slicer. but lost via decision to Aljamain Sterling and Pedro Munhoz. So this guy is tough to be finished. Brad Jones, it's very, very hard to finish him. On the other side, Stoney Gravely, he was losing via submissions. That's true, but he has never been finished. So what can we expect here? Well, I can only say one thing. We can expect a decision battle here. And which way is it gonna go? I kinda slightly lean towards Brad Jones due to his better stamina, but you never know. I mean, these guys are tough dudes. And now Lina Landsberg, man, I love this girl so much. Muay Thai kickboxing background, the former Muay Thai kickboxing champion, elbow queen. I mean, you don't monique someone elbow queen for no reason. She had the European championships in women's Muay Thai. Man, this is a strong girl. I mean, the former SC women's bantamweight champion. At UFC, she had ups and downs, lost to Chris Cyborg, victory over Lucia Pudilova, lost to Aspen Ladd, victory to Gina Mazzani, lost to Jana Kunitska, Antonia Evinger and Macy Chiesa were defeated via decision. She's simply in the UFC. Maybe she's not having that knockout power because she was finished by Aspen Ladd, who is not a devastating striker, but she is a very, very much good with endurance, and Lina has some very, very good, talents, and I believe she could go pretty much far. On the other side, Sara Mcmann comes from freestyle wrestling, kickboxing, strong dude, strong girl. In a freestyle wrestling, wow, this girl has a silver from Olympic Games in Athens, and now looking back at her results, well, she has a rich wrestling career. She even fought for the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship against Ronda Rousey, where she was defeated via TKO knee to the body. She defeated Shayna Baszler for Invicta FC Bantamweight title eliminator, and yeah, she had good results in the UFC with losses to Caitlin Vieira via submission, Marlon Renault via submission, Amanda Nunes via submission. So despite she is a wrestling girl, she has problem with chokes. Lina Landsberg is not a submission girl, so I don't know. I kind of slightly lean towards Sara Mcmann, but I'm a big, big fan of Lina Landsberg, and this is something I really like to say. So yeah, I hope I hope Lina Landsberg is gonna win, but I lean towards Sara Mcmann. Now the next fight is the match between Montel Jackson, known as Quick, and his opponent is dangerous Felipe Diaz-Collares, known as Cabocao. Honestly, I don't know what this means, but Cabocao, he is a submission expert from Brazil, and he is a BJJ black belt. You know that he lost to his at his debut versus Geraldo de Freitas Jr., but then won against Domingo Pilarte, and now looking back at the 100% history, this guy has never been finished. He was finishing most of his battles via guillotine choke or rear naked choke, with only one knockout victory over David William da Silva Farias at the beginning of his career. And his opponent, Montel Jackson, he is a tough dude with a score of 8-1. Only one decision loss. He was finishing everybody via decision or TKO. So, yeah, this is the clash of two very, very strong dudes. And I expect a decision war. I'm leaning towards Montel Jackson here. That's what I believe is going to happen. But you never know. I mean, both dudes are very, very strong. And anything can happen. Really, really anything can happen here. So, yeah. This will be a tough battle. And now the next fight, Bevan Lewis, known as the Extraordinary Gentleman from Lawrenceville, Georgia, with a score of 6-2. With 2 losses in a row to Uriah Hall and Darren Stewart, he is looking for the way to remain in the UFC, and this is a must-win situation for him. He is having an opponent, Dequan Townsend, known as the Tarantula from Lansing, Michigan, and you know what might be the problem here, because Dequan Townsend, he has recently been a victim of that affair with cocaine, and I kind of don't know what could be the next for these guys, because bouncing back after this affair is never easy, and he defeated the guy named Daucha Lunjambula via TKO punches and elbows. So I got to say that Bivon Lewis is in a must-win situation. The 1000 is bouncing back over loss to Daucha Lunjambula. But I strongly believe that Bivon Lewis will not maintain, will not extend his UFC contract if he wins. So if he loses, so I believe this is a must-win situation for him. And yeah, I kind of lean towards Bivon Lewis here because this is really a must-win situation for him. And Dick 1000, I don't know how much has he trained. He was taking bouts on short notice. I honestly don't know whether this bout is going to happen or not due to this affair. You don't know with USADA and the UFC, but we're going to see. But I lean towards Bivon Lewis. And now, Justin Kish. She squares off against Lucia Pudilova. And you know that she was a former multi-world champion and black belt in Kempo. Looking back at this, she has a score of 6-2 in the world of mixed martial arts. And she was defeating some big names, even Nina Ansarov and Ashley Yoder before losing to Felice Herrig and Ji Jung Kim. And the majority of wins came and losses came via unanimous decision. And the first two matches were won via submissions, armbar and triangle choke in the starting of her MMA career. You probably know this girl as Miss Defecating, and you know that she defecated during the match versus Felice Herring. She became known for that. But she hasn't given up, so this is the reason why I respect her. And now Lucia Pudilova, the former Gladiator Championship fighting bantamweight champ, Muay Thai BJJ from Pribram, Czech Republic, a very strong girl with a score of 8-5. But she is in a troubleshooting situation because after loss to Lina Landsberg, she bounced back with 2 wins over Ji Jung Kim and Sara Moras, but she lost 3 battles in a row. Irene Aldana and Liz Carmouche via decision, and Antonina Shevchenko via rear naked choke. Looking back at Lucia Pudilova, she strikes, but she is not precise, and this is the problem. Because this girl, she has all the heart of this world, but her strikes are constantly missing the target. I watched her in the match against Liz Carmouche, and yeah, she attempted way more strikes, but she was not hitting, She was not controlling the center of the octagon. And so, on the other side, Justin Kish thinks during fighting, and this might be a very, very serious challenge for Lucia Pudilova, despite a lean towards Justin for this victory. I'd like Lucia Pudilova to bounce back with a win, otherwise she'll probably lose her UFC contract. They will not re-sign her. So yeah, but I'd really like to see a win from Lucia Pudilova, but she has a tough opponent. And now Jamahal Hill versus Darko Stosic. Jamahal Hill may be too tough opponent for Darko Stosic because he's defeating everybody, 3 decision wins, 3 TKO wins. He finishes everybody on the ground. At Dana White's Contender Series, he finished Alexander Popek. So the organizers probably don't think that Stosic is a strong dude, and I hope Stosic will teach them a lesson and hope and show them some serious Serbian raw power, because he is a strong dude, but he is not in a good position, The only loss of his career before the UFC came to Yuri Prohaska, the guy who recently signed for the UFC. He is the former FFC heavyweight champion. But when he returned to light heavyweight, it happened against Jeremy Kimball, whom he finished via TKO elbows and punches. He lost 2 bouts via decision to Devin Clark and Kennedy Nzechukwu. He was better than Kennedy Nzechukwu, but unfortunately, he was even better striker, better wrestler. But unfortunately, Darko Stosic kicked him to the nards 3 times and lost this match. And yeah, I'm from Bulgaria, but I live in Serbia. You don't know how much I would like to see Darko Stosic at the winning edge of this match, and I'd like him to leave the octagon with his hand raised. But you never know. I mean, Jamahal Hill, they probably think Darko Stosic is an easy opponent, so they paired him with him. But I think if Stosic wins, that he will get a chance to extend his UFC contract. So I hope Stosic can surprise him, but this guy is good on the ground. I expect a ground war here. I don't think there will be much stand-up. You never know. I honestly hope Stosic is going to win. I slightly give advantage to him, not because I live in Serbia, but because I really believe his qualities. And the next match, Hannah Shockwave Cyphers squares off against Angela Hill, known as the Overkill, a southpaw striker. And Hannah Cyphers, she has a score of 10-3, and she was facing some serious names here. Lost to Gillian Robertson in the early stages of her career and to Heather Jo Clark. And when she signed for the UFC, she was TKO'd by Macy Barber, but later defeated Poliana Viana and Jodie Esquibel. Angela Hill, well, she is not a trash talker. I respect her so much because of that. She comes from Muay Thai kickboxing background, and she's the former Invicta FC strawweight champion. So yeah, these were the golden ages of her. But she had many ups and downs. I mean, Ashley Yoder win, Nina Ansaroff loss, Marina Moras win, Courtney Casey loss, Randa Marcos loss via submission, Jodie Esquibel win, Jiang Xiaonan decision loss, and Ariane Cornelossi TKO doctor stoppage. This is her first UFC stoppage in the very, very long period of time. On the other side, Hannah Cyphers maybe not in the best shape of his life at the moment, looking back at her Instagram and sessions and trainings. So yeah, I kind of believe Angie Overkill might be on the winning side of these scorecards. I just hope. I doubt that. I expect a decision war. You never know, but these are just my expectations. Jordan Espinosa, well, 14-6. The guy comes from Findlay, Ohio, and he is a guy who competed at very, very powerful promotions earlier, and he was showing that he knows to lose via choke and he knows to win via choke. So it's kind of hard to know what to think about this guy. Even against Nick Urso, he was struck to the back of the head. And yeah, but looking back at his records, he defeated many people via decision, and he also TKO'd some guys. And looking back at Alex Perez, this is the guy who stopped Jose Shorty Torres, the guy I interviewed, and I've got nothing but respect for this guy. He is a very, very strong guy who mostly finishes with a great experience and who mostly finishes via submission, sometimes from time to time via TKO, and this will be a tough battle. Yeah, he only KO'd Jose Shorty Torres, but he lost to Joseph Benavides, so yeah, these guys are tough. But I kind of I have a higher level of respect towards the guy who defeated Jose Shorty Torres, because I interviewed him and he confessed that his body couldn't go further in this match, that Frank Trigg made a good call, and Alex Perez has that strong body blows. So yeah, I kind of lean towards Alex Perez here, but you never know. And the next fight, it will be between Arnold the Almighty Allen, who squares off against Nick Lentz. And yeah, man, this is cool because, we actually have two powerful dudes. Looking back at Arnold Allen, this guy was simply unstoppable. I mean, in Cage Warriors FC, he competed on many occasions, and he won 5 bouts, lost only to Marcin Berzoshek. And looking back at the UFC, he defeated some very, very strong names: Alan Omer, Jaucin Metza, Makwan Amirkhani, Mats Burnell, Jordan Rinaldi, and Gilbert Melendez. But there is one thing about him that especially intrigues me, and that's the fact that he choked out Mats Burnell. When Steve Amable squared off against Mats Burnell, he was always saying that there is no way he's going to go to the ground with him. But Arnold Almighty Allen, he simply went to the ground with him and choked him out. So it means that his submission game is brutal, literally brutal. But looking back at Nick Lentz, he has a purple belt in BJJ and NCAA Division I wrestling experience. In MMA, this guy is super experienced. I mean, his experience is just stunning. He competed some of the best names in the division. He is a veteran of this sport. I mean, Rafael Oliveira, Thiago Tavares, Rob Emerson, Andre Wiener, Tyson Griffin, Waylon Love, Charles Oliveira, Mark Bocek, Ivan Dunham, Eiji Mutsuoka, Diego Nunes, Hakran Diaz, Chad Mendes, Manuel Gamburian, Charles Oliveira again, Danny Castillo, Michael McBride, Islam Makhachev, Will Brooks, David Taymor, Gray Maynard, Scott Holtzman, Charles Oliveira trilogy. Man, he fought 3 times versus Charles Oliveira, and he even submitted Charles Oliveira via that devastating guillotine choke. And it was originally submission for Oliveira, and that illegal knee in the first match, it was no contest. So, man, the guy who choked out Mats Burnell and Charles Oliveira, he deserves all the respect of this world. So, yeah, it's Nick Lentz. I mean, he choked out Charles Oliveira, sorry, and Arnold Almighty Allen choked out Mats Burnell. Sorry, I made a mistake here. So, this is going to be a war. I honestly don't know at the moment who's a better striker, but I know that Nick Lentz was ready to brawl. He was ready to fight with some guys, but he was mostly finishing his fights on the ground because he has some nasty experience with submissions and such things. I expect 3 rounds of ground war. I highly doubt there will be a submission here, but some TKO stoppage maybe. And I think Arnold Almighty Allen is currently in better shape, so I kind of lean towards him in this battle, but you never know. 2 very, very strong dudes. Super happy to watch them. And now, the co-main event of the evening. Michael Chiesa, he squares off against Rafael Dos Anjos. Michael Chiesa, he has a score of 16-4 with victories over Diego Sanchez and Carlos Condit, a controversial victory over Diego Sanchez. You know that Sanchez was pushing fingers in his ass, and you know it was a hot topic earlier. But then he earlier lost via submissions to Anthony Pettis and Kevin Lee, also controversial loss. He was defeating Benil, Darius, and even Jim Miller via rear naked choke. So this guy knows to choke people out. He has some strong experience. He's TUF 15 lightweight tournament winner, submission of the night. He defeated Alia Quinta via rear naked choke. On the other side, Rafael Dos Anjos, he is a 3rd-degree black belt in BJJ, black graduate in Muay Thai, 29-12. This is his score. And Rafael Dos Anjos, he is in good relations with Gilbert Burns, the guy who I interviewed, and he is praising him. He's saying nothing but the best for him. He's the former UFC lightweight champion. Rafael Dos Anjos is in a problem now because he lost 3 matches out of his last 4. Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman, and Leon Edwards via unanimous decision, and choked out Kevin Lee. But the only guy who finished him is actually Eddie Alvarez in the UFC cage. That's Eddie Alvarez. And there was a submission due to jaw injury against Clay Guida. Jeremy Stevens finished him in his first fight, but he progressed a lot since then. And this guy knows to strike, this guy knows to fight, and he is good on the ground. Right now, I'm kind of worried about his performance because this is a must-win situation for Rafael Dos Anjos. Michael Chiesa is maybe weaker striker, but he's very, very good on the ground there, even on the ground, and anything can happen. I think Rafael Dos Anjos, there is a possibility they will not extend his contract if he loses now. So I believe this is a must-win situation for Rafael Dos Anjos, and I see Rafael Dos Anjos is training like a maniac. I'm following him on Instagram and Twitter, and I believe he is going to bounce back here. So Rafael Dos Anjos, and now Curtis Blades versus Junior Dos Santos. Curtis Blades, strong dude who, after the Express loss to Francis Ngannou, he bounced back with 2 wins over Justin Willis unanimous decision and Shamil Abdurakhimov elbow and punches, which was kind of surprising because Shamil Abdurakhimov was a very, very strong dude, and everybody were chanting and saying that name and telling that this is kind of weird and strange and so on. So at this moment of his career, Curtis Blades is looking to extend his winning streak. Junior Dos Anjos is the legend of this sport with a score of 27-6. Now looking back, he was even the former UFC heavyweight champion who defeated Cain Velasquez and then defended the belt versus Frank Mir, then lost it again against Cain Velasquez. He hook kicked Mark Hunt, which is kind of, I'm very, very surprised about that. Then Blagoy Ivanov. He defeated Blagoy Ivanov via unanimous decision, TKO tied to Ivasa Derek Lewis, and lost to Francis Ngannou via TKO punches. I honestly don't like him for defeating Blagoy Ivanov because you see Bulgaria, you see it's Bulgaria, and you see it's Bulgaria. So, of course, I don't like this guy, but, you know, This will be a tough battle. Both of these men lost to Francis Ngannou. These were express losses, and at the moment, Curtis Blades is running on a better streak, and he has recovered. He has overcome the crisis. On the other side, Junior Dos Santos is also training hard. He is not backing down. This will be a tough battle, but only because Junior Dos Santos defeated Blago Ivanov. I hope Curtis Blades is going to bounce back with the win here and to extend his winning streak to 3. This is what I hope for. And thank you all for watching. This is a full breakdown. See you all and hear you all next time. It will be a great to watch. And I will comment this event because it goes live on Fights channel. The main card goes live. So I will commentary this. And looking back at Bellator, I'll probably do short recaps. I don't have preliminary card of the UFC. I'll try to find it somewhere. But I'll probably go for short recaps if I'm able to find it. But we'll see, Sometimes if I find it, find it. If not, main card, no worries. About main card, it goes live, so I will comment with the greatest passion. And I promise you one thing: while Curtis Blades and Junior Dos Santos fight, I will chant for Curtis Blades and wave with the Bulgarian flag because I hope he's gonna avenge my brother Blago Ivanov.